U.S. President Joe Biden has a problem.
So what's top of mind for you right now ahead of the election?
Rising cost of living.
When I go to the supermarkets, I scream.
People struggle to pay their rent.
Bolstered by low unemployment and slowing inflation, the president's signature policies are attracting more jobs and private sector commitments. But those investments aren't necessarily translating into how voters feel about the economy, perhaps the biggest issue in November's election.
My economic plan is bringing supply chains home.
We build American, we buy American, and we are American.
A vote for Trump is a vote to keep those manufacturing jobs in America and add a lot of jobs.
Both Biden and former President Donald Trump are preaching the gospel of an American manufacturing renaissance. That matters in the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania.
People here love to fly their presidential flags.
We've hung a big Biden flag on our front porch.
Voter sentiment in Northampton County, where Biden won by less than 1% in 2020, could be revealing of a national trend.
What issues are important to you?
The economy, making sure inflation's under control, everyone has a job.
Obviously, the economy's doing great, but not everybody feels like they're doing well.
We just arrived outside of Northampton County, Pennsylvania. It's just one of 25 counties in the country out of thousands that has voted for the winner of the presidential race every cycle since 2008. It's exactly the kind of place that President Biden talks about winning over with his manufacturing policies.
President Biden's Investing in America agenda is about what he calls building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up. The chief elements are 4 laws he signed during his first 2 years in office. The Infrastructure and Jobs Act that's spurring road and bridge building, the CHIPS and Science Act, which subsidizes manufacturing of microchips inside the U.S., the Inflation Reduction Act, financing clean energy projects, and the American Rescue Plan, which provided cities with post-pandemic emergency stimulus. Combined, the 4 initiatives are expected to drive over $1 trillion in federal spending over the next decade.
West Broad Street is one of the busiest streets in Bethlehem, the largest city in Northampton County. The city was able to secure almost $10 million to upgrade the road from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act. They'll be adding crosswalks and bike lanes.
This is Mayor Reynolds. He was elected in 2021 and says the city has been trying to make this road safer for years.
To be able to find $10 million in the city, that would have taken us 15 or 20 years without the infrastructure bill. It is just going to completely change this corridor as far as our small businesses are concerned, as far as the opportunities for vibrancy, as far as the safety of bicyclists and walkers.
And it's not just roads.
Our brand new TSA checkpoint.
The Lehigh Valley International Airport received more than $40 million in federal funds for expansion. That's just a small part of an estimated $4 billion in benefits the state received from Biden's policies. Although it sounds like a lot, it pales in comparison to the $62 billion that went to New York. Some states like Texas and Arizona received even more.
When government invests in infrastructure, whether that's roads or bridges or airports, it allows the private sector to continue to invest and to grow and create jobs.
Are you happy with the amount of investment Pennsylvania has gotten from all the bills that passed in that Congress?
Very happy, but we're always looking for more.
Do you worry that voters won't see the impact that you're talking about in the long term?
I think people are seeing it little by little. People really won't have a full picture of these investments and the benefit to communities and families until there's advertising, and that's what campaigns are for.
The promise of Bidenomics to cities like Bethlehem is a return to a time when America's industrial growth rivaled its competitors. Bethlehem Steel once reigned as the world's second largest steelmaker until its closure in the 2000s. Former mayor turned CEO, Don Cunningham, helped engineer a recovery.
I came from a steelworker family, and my message was the steel's going to go away and we're going to have to reinvent ourselves. Even though I was young, it gave me credibility. Bethlehem Steel plants built the structural steel for the skyscrapers in New York.
Golden Gate Bridge,
the bridges of Manhattan. In the early 80s, when the American steel crisis hit, where imported steel started to come into the United States, you lost jobs in American steel. In western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, for example, it all hit like a tsunami. The Bethlehem plant stayed, and you had about a 15-year decline. So there was a reality in the 90s that eventually the day might come that there was no Bethlehem steel. We were going to have to evolve, and there was going to have to be life after steel if we wanted our kids to have a future here.
Bethlehem has indeed evolved, diversifying its manufacturing to include everything from medical devices to trucks. But life here still includes the steel industry and the union workers that drive it.
Just put them facing forward.
So I do it like this.
Put your arms through.
Okay.
You got him.
As a husband and a father, my dream is this little dude have life when I'm old and gray and he's just starting to enter the workforce. And looking back the last 4 decades, I don't see that trend happening at all. The average man like me who works for my family, we make less than 40. And majority of that at the moment where we're seeing it hurt is we're seeing a reduction of hours in full times. So we've seen an overall reduction to about 32 hours a week. We're making less money now, even with the 5% wage increases, because of the hours being reduced.
Do you feel like Biden has been a strong supporter of unions?
He's definitely a union guy, I know that for a fact. I think the way the economy's going, I think it's getting better. I think we're going in the right direction. I think they'll support Biden because of that.
Do you think the manufacturing sector is healthy right now in this area?
I think it's very healthy. It's booming and people are looking for workers. Companies are looking for workers left and right. I'm an independent. What President Biden has done for workers, just hands down, is, in my mind, far and above any other legislation that we've seen in recent history.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more people work in manufacturing in the Lehigh Valley under Biden than at any time since 2005. Manufacturing is a leading driver of growth. But a Bloomberg News and Morning Consult poll found that 55% of voters in Pennsylvania said Biden's manufacturing investments have not impacted them or their communities much or at all, while only 46% said it had some or significant impact.
Do you feel like President Biden has invested enough with his policies in the area?
Biden policy is working from the ground up. In time, if you give him 4 more years, people will see your results.
I don't see these economic policies affecting us, at least in a positive manner. I'm still seeing poor people struggle to get food.
And while voters may be divided about Bidenomics, tech firms are lining up to take advantage of the CHIPS Act. The legislation is providing tax breaks and research grants to companies in hopes of competing with Asia.
So you guys are still in the application process for CHIPS funding. What are you hoping to get out of that?
It would allow us to dramatically accelerate a lot of the activities that we have underway today by bringing on more talented people to engage more broadly from a manufacturing perspective or development partner perspective.
One of the big benefits of the CHIPS Act has just been the attention that has now been shown to the semiconductor industry. And that caused the proliferation of new opportunities. People started to invest private money, started to focus on supply chains, and that created more opportunity for us. And I think that's what we're looking to see happen with the CHIPS Act, is that the entire ecosystem is revived.
There's no denying that Bidenomics is offering opportunities. Come November, we'll see if it registers with voters.
Making that connection on Election Day is something that's going to take a little time. And I think that the work between now and Election Day is about knocking on doors and reminding people.
According to the latest Bloomberg News and Morning Consult poll, Biden and Trump are neck and neck in Pennsylvania.
I believe that there's a lot more interest in Donald Trump now. I don't think a lot of people like Biden specifically in our county at the moment.
Every voter processes these things differently, and we tend to want to analyze like this rational decision making. of voting for people because they're better for you, or you've added up all these things and it's kicked out a formula of this is the most logical. But unfortunately, that's not the way elections work.